All right, welcome to episode 87 of My FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there's also a blog, which you can find at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com, or possibly you can just put in myfxbuddies.com, but you have to use HTTPS as in Sam, and it may come up that way. RSS.com has a transcript. YouTube has a video. Excuse me. No, it doesn't. Rumble has a video. Spotify.com has video content and audio. And then there's others. I don't really know everywhere that the little syndicate thing sends, I upload a file and then it gets dispersed out. All right, but I do know wherever you are enjoying this content, there is probably a info, more, description, intro, something like that. If you click on that, then you open that and there's a link to the blog. All right. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, let me just remind you of the Fair Use Disclaimer Act. Anything I show or cover, I'm just sharing, critiquing, commenting on, and it falls under the Fair Use Disclaimer Act. But it appears to be a video, but it is not. And if you actually want to see the video, under the box that appears to be a video, there's the word more. Click on the word more. Another box opens. The link is there. You click that and you go there. All right. I believe that's it. Okay. So it is, right now it is Friday, right? July 26th, but it's Friday, July 26th. News that I'm covering, is from mostly the 25th. There was hardly any news on the 24th. I don't know what was up with that. But anyway, so I don't think Fridays are usually like news days because it's their holy day. And if anything comes out, it comes out later in the day, usually, right? So there was a couple of things that I think are worth looking at, and I can't do a summary. You're just gonna have to stick it out, but I promise this will not go over 30 minutes. Okay, so the next I can't think of the word clearly, but so the budget tables, if you haven't listened to the past couple of blogs, you should. But the drama is, Sudani did some investigating and found Sudani is the Prime Minister of Iraq, the most powerful position in the country. Okay? If you didn't know that. So, that's what they tell us, right? Just like, anyway, I'm not going to go there. Okay? But he found there were 3 versions of the budget schedules. So he confronted Parliament and was like, wait, hold up. What's going on? And there's 5 individuals they're going to investigate. I don't know if they started, but they put an official letter out of 5 people they're going to investigate because someone forged. There's forgery and something else that they're going to look into. Okay? So that's where we had ended. Well, today they put this out. Actually, July 25th, they put this out. With a difference of 15 trillion dinars, Parliamentary Finance reveals the extent of the discrepancy in the budget tables before and after approval. So, this person says the budget tables that arrived from the Council of Ministers and were approved inside the Parliament are the same as the government tables. Therefore, the letter that we received from the Council of Ministers that the tables that were referred after the vote have a big difference in some sections that reach 15 trillion dinars. And then they have a breakdown, which projects, which projects and which programs were manipulated, right? So it says here, these increases are contrary to the tables. Forgive, I'm watching my Iraqi show that I watch right now. So if you hear that, forgive me. But if I put it all the way on mute, it shuts off. So I have to have it a little bit audible. Anyway, these increases are contrary to the tables approved by the House of Representatives, and the Parliamentary Finance Committee has no role in tampering with the budget tables. So how do they know that? Well, however they know that, already they're clearing the whole Parliamentary Finance Committee, right? And the House of Representatives voted on the tables that were sent from the Council of Ministers as they are, but the Parliamentary Presidency signed the schedules that contained changes. So somewhere between transporting from the House of Representatives to the Presidency, someone did a switcheroo. So the person telling us about this reassured the Iraqi people that there is no financial harm, considering that the Council of Ministers is committed to the real schedules, not the manipulated one, and is proceeding in its work. A committee was formed to investigate, and we approved the Parliamentary Presidency to send a copy of the schedules that it signed. So I like this last paragraph because it kind of sounds like they're saying, okay, we see what the problem is. We're going to investigate, but we know which numbers are correct, and we're going to move forward with those numbers. That's what I hope it's saying, right? It says we're going to send a copy of the schedules that were signed. So we'll see. So that's the latest as of July 25th. All right. Now here is an excellent article I feel everyone should read. Do you know who Samir al-Sunar? See, I messed up his name. Samir al-Nusari. Okay, he is the advisor to the Iraqi Private Banks Association, but they call him all kinds of things. Banking expert, financial analyst, but he's, I should have put his picture here. He's in his 70s, which I'm just saying so you know he's been involved in the Iraqi banking sector and finances and all that for a long time. And he's very respected he's really good friends with someone else from the CBI, not Aaliyah Locke, but someone else, I can't remember. But anyway, but he writes really long articles, and usually he goes back through the history and then comes forward, and then there's just a little tiny, maybe one or two sentences about the future. But this one is different. So here's the title. Al-Nusari identifies treatments for the fluctuations in the dinar exchange rate and expectations of its return to the equilibrium price in the parallel market. I don't know why they used equilibrium price and they don't use it again anymore in this article, but they go back to parallel market. So he explained Thursday that the stability of the exchange rate in the parallel market will remain in a state of fluctuation until the completion of the stages of financial and banking reform. And I believe we're in the third stage right now. We don't know how many. I wish we did. But anyway, so then it goes on to say the stability of the exchange rate in the parallel market will remain in a state of fluctuation until the completion of the measures currently taken to implement the stages of financial and banking reform specified in Axis 12. I have no idea what this is. It's capitalized though, the A and the T. So maybe it's some kind of program. Maybe this weekend I'll have time to try to find out what it is, but I'm not sure. And Articles 1 to 7 of what? Articles of what? I don't know. But anyway, Articles 1 to 7 and the daily efforts made by the monetary authority to complete the regulation of foreign trade and strengthen the reform, the public and private banking sector, blah, 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 right? Then he goes on to talk about what we need to do is get back to the Chinese yuan usage because that was, remember, they cut that off. It's supposed to be temporary. He's like, we need to get back to that during this year. He says that. I really like this. He added, the information confirms that there will be a breakthrough very soon. Hey, I like that. And then there's more to that, So he continued, we must not forget clearly and precisely that there is an organized lobby working against achieving monetary stability. So there it is. He probably knows names, account numbers, right? He probably knows everything. But here he's just being very vague, saying, there's some knuckleheads fighting us all the way, but we're still going to move forward, right? Let's see. Then there's some other stuff here about activating sources of national income and, that stuff. But here's the last paragraph. He concluded his speech by saying, my expectations are that the exchange rate will return to stability after completing the reform, regulatory, and negotiation procedures, and this does not take a long time. Woo! Finally, we get someone who says something isn't going to take a long time, right? Okay. Here they are announcing they have implemented the comprehensive banking systems at the Baghdad airport, which I believe that there's a bank there, there's a banking system there that probably is very busy, quite busy. They sell dollars to the travelers and then who knows what else. So there are up to 35 bank branches and at least one airport where the comprehensive banking system is. This is interesting. Well, I think it's interesting. So again, another holiday's coming where people from the surrounding countries go into Iraq. So Iran issues Iraqi dinar to its visitors. All right. So I believe one of Frank 26's videos shows Eddie saying this is the first time. Usually they would give them dollars. I remember them giving them euros because Iran isn't supposed to have dollars, right? But whatever. It's definitely new that they're giving them dinars. There's 3,100 banks that they can go to get the dinars. But look at this. So they can get a maximum 200,000. Oh, that got a little louder. The bank set the age requirement for Iranian visitors from 5 years and above. So what's a 5-year-old gonna do with 200,000 dinars? So that's a little suspect right there. That would lead to maybe some corruption, smuggling, whatever. But also, they're traveling. If they take their whole family, they do need money. They have to buy food, water, definitely water because, it's extremely hot. So I could see them allotting, okay, you have 4 children, 2 adults, right? I guess 5 and under, they figure you can share your food or whatever with them. But so I could see them doing that, but it was funny to see that 5 years. All right, here's so there's a lot of articles. I'm not going to go over them because they're pretty much the same. But if you want to, you can go to the blog and read them. It's pretty much the same like this one here. Here's the title. Central Bank under wide criticism after failure to control exchange rate. Yes, we know, right? There's people who want to make the current regime look bad, so they're complaining and legitimately also complaining because you told us a year ago you were going to get the right? They were going to get the exchange rate and the parallel rate to the same, and it still hasn't. So, but also just like Samir Al-Nasari just said, there's a very powerful lobby fighting them. And who knows, it might even be people over here, people in the US, right? They didn't say where. They just said or organized lobby. So if you want to read that article, that's there. Here's more follow-up. Oh, I should have put this at the bottom. Well, Iraq and America issue a joint statement on security cooperation and postpone the statement on the withdrawal of the coalition. So what it is the word withdrawal. I don't think we want that word officially in any documentation. But yeah, so their meeting's over. They were here. This group was here for the 22nd, 23rd of July, and they're done for now. If you want to read about that, that is there. This is an article. Vigilant Guardian. I think that's a report. Harmonious supervisory cooperation to guarantee citizens' deposits in Iraqi banks. So it's another article about that, kind of like the FDIC, but different. So now there's two. There's two deposit insurance companies that Iraq's using, and they're trying to instill confidence in depositors and encourage them to save and invest in banks instead of hoarding, which contributes to increasing the liquidity available to the national economy, thus driving growth and development. So I think I covered one in the last blog. Here's another article, but this one is this company ICDI. That abbreviation is in this article about 6 or 7 times, and you see how short it is. Anyway, all right. So let's see. Mohammed Saleh, who is the financial advisor to the Prime Minister, he put out the central bank's dollar reserves are solid and the GDP rate is very optimistic. So still trying to tell the citizens, hey, I know you hear all this stuff and they're blaming the CBI. Oh, there's an article in here. Blaming the CBI for 80% of the corruption. And so it's like Mohammed Saleh comes out to reassure the citizens. I know you're hearing this over here, but we're good. Have faith in us, right? So you can read that if you like. Washington expresses readiness to provide assistance in digitizing Iraqi government reports. So this is just another sector of the government that is now going to be digitized. And this is the name of the company. Well, this is the abbreviation. K, B as in boy, R as in Robert. And they are a publicly traded company. So if you want to look into them. And also, so I chose this shorter article, but this company also works with Vietnam. There was a longer article that had more details, and it talked about that same company works with Vietnam. Then I went back to try to find that longer article, and I could not. But I just thought it was interesting that they work on, two of the countries that we watch, right? So that's there. Here, the Mohammed Saleh is talking again. And he's encouraging the public to invest in the achievement bonds. So there's this will be the second type of bond offering, right? And I don't think this one's going through the ISX. So they'll go directly to the CBI for these, unless they don't have to specify it anymore, but in reading this article, there's no instructions, hey, go to the ISX. But also, that wouldn't be his job to do that. His job is to explain to them what they are and why it's safe to buy them and how it will help the national economy if they invest in them. So now I think this is hilarious. Have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen a $1 million note? Of course it's fake. But I wonder if at one time did we actually have a 1 million note? But someone's selling them in Iraq. And the CBI issues a warning regarding the $1 million bill. So they have pictures and they even put it on TV. They even put it on the TV and said this is not real money. It's a commemorative note, but they frowned upon them selling it. So here's the article that I just referenced. Because of the central bank, commercial activity in Iraq drops to less than 80%. So I was wrong. I said it was 80% of the fraud. Trade movement has decreased to less than 80%. And they go on and talk about how that's affecting, and again, not being able to do those transactions in the Chinese yuan. They talk about that. So here are the exchange companies in Kurdistan sent a message to the central bank. Reopen our headquarters. So this is different. These aren't, remember the exchangers that were going to go on strike, and Sudani met with them, and they didn't, and they still haven't, actually. So now the Kurdistan exchange companies are like, hey, you need to open up our headquarters again. So we'll see if anything comes from that. You would think that they would want to open them, if they're going to be handing out new notes, which I believe they are. You would think they would want the maximum amount of outlets possible for the people to go to. But so we'll see. I'll keep my eye on this. Yeah, so here is an economist saying the Iraqi banking sector has achieved significant growth, and I think there's a chart. Yeah, there's a chart here, but the chart's in Arabic, but there's numbers, but here you can see the number of ATMs and point of sale and real-time global settlement. Is that what RTGS stands for? I think it is. All right, here's an article that you might want to read. Black money fuels investment stock exchange. Countries that prospered with looted Iraqi money. So they're saying how they got all the black market money, but they used it to improve their countries, which they probably didn't. Probably the rich people padded their accounts, right? But whatever. So they go on. I think I'll just read you. Here's the last little bit of it. Searching for Iraq's previous funds is difficult, but the most important thing is to reconsider the investment file and make it within a scope that serves the country's economy, and to approve serious steps to combat corruption in order to preserve what remains of the country's wealth. And they've been having lots of things on the TV. They've been arresting a lot of people for fraud. I mean, catching that bribery, they catch them, right? They do sting operations, all kinds of things. So they're really trying to show the people that, look, it's a new world, basically. The money can be tracked, and they told them, we know where every dinar is, you know? So yeah, they're doing that, but the more that they do these audits, and they put 2 more bank information out, but it's, who's really looking at that, right? But except the citizens. But the more information they put out, the more the citizens are going to be able to see how much money's been stolen from them. And I don't know. What are they going to do? I mean, what can you do, right? Okay, let's see here. The president was invited to the Olympics, the Iraqi president, and he's there. And so guess what he did? He went to the embassy to speak to Iraqis living in Paris. I didn't even think that. How many other meetings is he going to have while he's supposedly at the Olympics, right? But he's probably saying, come back home. Come, look at, we're in New Iraq, look at all the things. But President of the Republic, security and stability in Iraq inspire optimism. That's the title of the article, so you might want to read that. And he didn't meet with a whole bunch of people. It looks like a small room, but every seat was filled, because this is just one picture, but there's another picture that shows the whole room. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. So if you want to read that, that's there. Here's another, the region, which is Kurdistan, right? The region lags behind electronic systems. Transactions are still paper-based, and the authenticity of the issuance is effective. So here is someone in the government, actually. See this? It says Kurdistan Justice Party. They're complaining. What's the delay? See, he's criticizing the delay of switching over to electronic systems. We know what the delay is. The ruling families, they're the delay. And let's see here. The Minister of Finance issues a directive regarding citizens' transactions. I think it was to keep them private. Simplify government procedures for citizens, but also there's something in here so they can access their rights and fulfillment of their needs in the various formations and joints of the ministry, in addition to emphasizing strengthening the principles of transparency and accountability in its work. So, okay, that's it. Well, there's some military stuff here, and I always put the military stuff at the bottom, but looky here. 4 missiles fall on that base, right? So that's the second attack. I hope I can say that word. That's happened so far, and the Pentagon has acknowledged it. But they say no U.S. personnel injured in that incident. I'm using the word incident that they use, the real word. If you're watching the video, you can see it there. So if you want to read about that, go to the blog, and that's actually the last article on the blog. And we are finished. And it's less than 30 minutes. I told you. So if I don't record on Friday, I want to wish you that you will have an enjoyable weekend. I'll probably post on Sunday just because it'll be 3 days that have gone by. It gets hard to keep these posts under 30 minutes when you get too many days. But it may be quiet. Sudani's going to Tehran to participate in the swearing in of the new president. Not just to watch, he's participating in it. So I thought that was interesting wording. And he's also going to Czech, Prague. So I don't know where those are. But anyway, just some stuff. So, all right, I will say accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. If there is a follow, join, subscribe type of button where you are enjoying this content, click that, tap that, swipe that, whatever activates it, because I don't post regularly. If you activate that function and if it works properly, when I update, you'll be notified that I updated. All right. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you're enjoying this content. And until next time.